All right, I'm going to demonstrate how to use measureQuick in non-invasive testing mode. That's what the little blue leaf up in the upper left corner signifies. That's non-invasive. If you were gauging up, that would be a blue snowflake instead. So non-invasive, you're going to need a few probes. You're going to need your suction and liquid line temperature clamp. You're going to need a return and supply psychrometer. You're also going to need to gather outside air temperature. And you're also going to need to get static pressure and convert that to airflow. So let's first go into the profile part of measureQuick. Now you don't have to fill in all this stuff. You can use their AI profiler, or you can just manually enter in that stuff. The AI profiler is actually pretty cool. If you hit that button, you would take a picture of your model number, and then it would generate all the relevant information, the tonnage, the refrigerant, all that good stuff based on their database simply by taking a picture of the nameplate, which is pretty awesome because you don't have to do any double data entry. So if you use your AI profiler, a lot of the stuff will get pre-populated. Let's say that you didn't, and you need to manually enter in relevant information for the unit. Well, a big thing is going to be the tonnage. So you're going to select your tonnage. Let's say we're working on a 2-ton unit. Obviously, you're going to need to know what refrigerant you're working on, and you can create some favorites here. So for example, R454B should be on here. I've not saved it as a favorite yet. I need to. R454B, so I'm going to save that as a favorite. Some things are pre-populated for you down here: superheat, subcooling, what your rated total external static pressure is. You usually don't have to mess with that kind of stuff. The other thing that I like to adjust here is what my CFMs per ton is going to be. Obviously, we're in a warm climate here in coastal North Carolina, so we want to set that to 350 CFM per ton. That's going to move where the needles should be in measureQuick just a little bit. And then obviously you can get the SEER range correctly, because that's also going to move the needle a little bit. So really the only things that you need to do is set your tonnage up, your airflow, and make sure your SEER is correct on this screen. That's it. If you hit the X button, now we're going to hit the right button here, or we could just scroll, but we get to outdoor measurements. Now, if you're measuring your outdoor temperature with the smart probe, it's going to automatically populate on the next screen there under outdoor air. We're simulating 90 degrees. I don't actually have any smart probes hooked up to a system for this demonstration. You can also manually enter in things. So for non-invasive system testing, we're not gauging up. So if you notice here, the fields for low and high pressure are not able to be filled out. That's because we don't care what they are. We're not measuring them. But we do want to know what our actual temperatures of our suction and liquid line are. So that's where the 50 and the 93 degrees come in. So you're going to need to have your temperature clamps hooked up to the unit. But no gauges. You may notice there are gauges on the display, and that's just measureQuick's guesstimation of what those pressures would be, but we're not actually taking those pressures. So I tend to ignore those gauges on the top during non-invasive testing. But you're also going to need to hook up your indoor psychrometers. So one in the return, one in the supply. What we're paying special attention to is our dry bulb and our dew point. So you're going to want to set measureQuick up to read dew point in the settings instead of %RH. And finally, you're going to want to tell measureQuick what the airflow is. Now, measureQuick will guesstimate what the airflow is, and that works pretty accurate as long as the system is set up correctly. But if it's not working correctly, then this airflow is going to be all over the place. So what I like to do is get my static pressure. So if you need to manually enter your static pressure, even though you're looking at it on this screen, you actually have to go back to the indoor measurement screen, because that is an indoor measurement. That makes sense. And we would add indoor measurements. We could scroll all the way down, and we could make the static pressure whatever we want. Let's say it's 0.55 instead of 0.5. So what that does is document our static pressure. Now, unless you're reading airflow with like a true flow grid, you don't need to pull the installation manual off that unit and get the airflow that corresponds to that static pressure and the blower speed that you're operating at. So it's important to know what your blower speed is. And once you get that information, you can add your airflow in. Again, at the indoor measurement screen, you can manually override whatever airflow that measureQuick is trying to put on there. You can override that. For example, if you're using a static pressure drop on an airflow table, you would just select that, and then you can type in whatever airflow that you want. Now you have everything that you need to do non-invasive testing, and it just took you a few minutes. I mean, I know it took a long time to explain all this, but all you're doing is clamping on your suction and liquid line temperature clamps. You're getting your outdoor air temperature, and you're sticking 2 psychrometers in the supply and the return, and then you get your static pressure. And the hardest thing about this whole process is pulling the CFMs off the blower chart. Now, you're not going to be exact. That is not an exact test. It's an estimation of what your airflow is, but at least it'll get you close. Once you gather all that information, measureQuick is going to tell you whether or not your readings are normal or not. So notice that my suction line temperature is in the green. If it's in the green, I'm not going to give it a second thought. The liquid line temperature is just right there on the edge. And so measureQuick is going to tell you what that ideal range is based on the temperature outside, some of the other inputs. Right now it's looking for 94.1 to 106.1. Well, I've manually entered in 93 degrees at 90 degrees outside air temperature. measureQuick's telling me that's a little cool, that my liquid line should actually be a little bit higher. We talked about approach temperature. Approach temperature is the difference between the liquid line temperature and the outside air temperature. And you can click on that and learn a little bit more about approach temperature. These are some of the calculations that measureQuick is doing in the background to tell you whether or not your system is operating correctly. Again, looking at your psychrometers under your indoor temperature, everything's in the green. We're not really too worried about that. We've got our airflow. Now, something that I pay a lot of attention to when I'm checking a system out is after I verify that I have clean filters, clean coil, no obvious airflow problems, I'm going to look right here at my enthalpy drop. And that enthalpy drop is going to tell me how much heat and humidity that I'm moving out of the air. It's total heat is what enthalpy is. And if we're in the green, that means that system is operating pretty good. If we're in the blue or the red, something's off. And my guide for gauging up is if you see anything that's in the blue or the red, go ahead and just gauge up. But if everything's in the green, then there's no sense in gauging up. The other thing you're looking for, obviously, is your temperature split. 20 degrees is what we're looking for, obviously. measureQuick's even going to guesstimate, and pretty accurately, actually, how much humidity that you're removing out of the air. In this case, we're removing 6 pints per hour. And then here's the really cool part. measureQuick is going to guesstimate what your total delivered capacity is. And your delivered capacity is a product of your airflow and the heat that you're moving. And it plugs it into several different formulas to tell you what your total heat, your sensible heat, and your latent heat is. And again, if any of those things are not in the green, then I would gauge up. If they are in the green, then there's no sense in you gauging up because everything is operating pretty normal. The last thing here on the right is sensible heat ratio. That's just the percentage of sensible heat to total heat that the system is removing. 0.72 is pretty normal. If you get into some high efficiency systems, sensible heat ratio is going to trend a little higher. If you're working on an older R22 system, sensible heat is going to trend a little bit lower. The lower the sensible heat ratio is, the better it's going to dehumidify. The higher it is, the more efficient it's operating, but probably the less it's going to be able to dehumidify. And if you combine this with taking some wattage readings with a power quality meter, measureQuick will even estimate what your coefficient of performance is, which usually is somewhere between 2.5 and 4.0. It'll even guesstimate what your current operating SEER 2 is, which is pretty amazing because if you're working on a 16 SEER system and it's operating at 11 SEER, you know that's a problem. And fan efficacy is just a product of CFM over the wattage that the fan is pulling. Again, if you're using a power quality meter, you can get that reading. This is non-invasive testing. This does not require you to gauge up. It doesn't require you to lose any refrigerant or possibly contaminate it with refrigerant from the last system that you worked on. It's a really quick and easy way to, at a glance, tell if the system is performing well or not. If everything's in the green, move on. If stuff is in the red or the blue, maybe you give it a second look and gauge up.